This episode of April J. Have No Ideas is brought to you by the Misconnection section of Craigslist, because MeUndies wouldn't accept my returns.
Older male in search of a older woman, Bronx. Seriously, I want to meet a decent woman who is my age, 50 or better. But I prefer that she is young at heart like me. A cooking person like me. Homebuddy like me. Cuddle type like me. Sane with just a touch of crazy like me. Well, LOL, not too crazy. At her peak like me, hygienically clean like me. Yes, please have a career in a non-dramatic independent like me. I'm a SBM, so I am very attracted to a SWF. I prefer a voluptuous person. Just be real. We are not models for a fashion shoot. Just be yourself. LOL. Sorry, ladies, that's my preference as it stands. Milk in my coffee. LOL. Please reply with a intelligent response only. The weight of my mind is your mind first. Then everything else is good. Please do not flag. I don't understand why I keep getting flagged for. This is serious. No games, no drama. Posted about 2 hours ago. Hi, I'm April.
And I'm Jay.
And we have no ideas.
I felt like at the beginning of that, it was like lost lyrics from that song from Aladdin. She kept saying just like me.
And I kept trying to read it just as it was written, and he spelled crazy with K's.
Extra crazy. Like crazy glue.
Exactly.
It's fine.
So this week we have a guest. Tim from many different Random Chatter podcasts.
Hi guys, how are you?
Fantastic.
Pretty good.
I am absolutely thrilled to be here. I've been looking forward to this all day.
That's good. So what was I going to say at the top of the show? Oh, so I will say at the top of the show, we will be taking a short hiatus after this to get us through. As everybody knows, with our schedule, half the time it takes us forever to record, and God forbid if we post. Well, God forbid if I post it. So I figured with the craziness of December and Christmas, we'll take a short break. I think we're hitting an even 40 this year, right?
Yes.
This is episode 40. And, we also discussed the possibility of kind of retooling. Obviously, the running joke is we have no ideas. We try very hard to have ideas, obviously. That's the gag. But I feel like maybe some retooling might be in order and a little more stability to our sections and segments. So I did post on Discord last week asking if people would like to fill out a survey, because everybody likes surveys.
But I think
would you like to take a survey?
But I think we should cross-post it on our Twitter and on our Facebook as well.
And it's just going to be like a short, what do you like, what don't you like, and please be honest. There'll be specific questions, but I think, we've changed up a lot. We know what we like to do. We know what we don't like to do, but I think something a little more steady and a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, concrete.
Okay.
May work well. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, either way, we'll be taking a short break. Mike, try to get along without us. Rooter.
No, I was worried that the dogs had gotten into something.
Are you home? No, I'm an intruder. Okay, just keep it down.
Well, we're recording again, so.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say about that.
Okay.
I did have a couple bits of news type stuff to talk about up front.
Okay,
if you want to do that first.
We can, but can I just say it's probably one of your news articles or your news items, but fucking Netflix, what is going on?
That is literally first on my list here. It says Netflix cancellations, ... question mark.
Okay, so go on. Now, I have not watched the third season of Daredevil yet.
Third season of Daredevil was really, really good. I feel like, I mean, personally for me, I feel Daredevil found their footing in season 1, lost it a little bit in season 2, but then really found it again in season 3, and now it's gone. And I'm sure Punisher and Jessica Jones are on their way as well. I don't know. I think I mean, I get it. They have a new streaming service, but.
Yeah, first of all, I don't think Netflix is actually to blame here. This is really Disney. Netflix has the distribution contract for these things, not production.
Right.
The production's still held by Marvel/Disney. So Disney's pulling the plug on them because they want to centralize everything to their new service when that comes out in like a year.
And I mean, I get that, but it just, and they're saying, well, these characters will live on. Yeah, but they're not going to be the same. Like, you're probably going to recast. You're probably going to tone down the violence and the ratings and stuff. Let's be honest. You want to make family content, not, what it has been.
Not if they put them on Hulu, which is where all their non-family friendly stuff is going to go.
That would be a weird move, I feel like, though, because why not just leave them on Netflix in that case?
But because they don't own Netflix, they own
Hulu.
They own
at
least a
third
part
of Hulu right now, and then once the purchase deal with Fox finishes, they will own 2/3 of Hulu.
Oh,
big deal.
Which is why all the ABC shows are on Hulu.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense then. Maybe they will go that way.
But with contracts and whatnot, who knows what the Netflix contracts are for distribution? And those shows may be stuck in limbo because I'm sure Netflix isn't going to want to just give them up.
Right. And the likelihood of them going, hey, Charlie Cox, you want to be in a movie is not likely as well, which sucks because that would be awesome. So yeah, I think, like Tim said, I get it. I understand it. I'm not happy about it like most people because it's you just started finding your footing with these.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's it. We're done. Because they were all playing out what they were going to do in their next season. Like Iron Fist got a little better and their third season looked like it was going to be really good. The possibility of Daredevil season 4 looked like it was going to be really good. Like they just set up so much for the future for it to go, yeah, never mind. So that kind of stinks.
Okay. What is happening here?
I don't know.
I'm trying to get into our Ask account. And I think, did you change stuff on me?
I did not.
Okay. All right, so go on with your next one.
That was number one. Number one. Number 2, I entitled Avengers 4, and my subtitle is War for the Trailer. I feel like we've gone trailer crazy. Do you think all the hype that Marvel's building up for this trailer is justified, or do you think like they're being ridiculous at this point?
I literally have not seen anything regarding the hype for the trailer.
Oh no, the internet's been going nuts about it's gonna come out today. It's gonna come out today. It's like every day. It's nuts.
I've stopped even thinking about I don't even watch any. I don't even read anything on it. It's like when it comes out, I'll know, and that's
absolutely.
I can't get involved in the minutia of all that nonsense.
And like I said, I'm to the point where I don't care. I'll see it when it comes out. Obviously, I'm in no rush. It's not like I'm going to see the movie tomorrow, but it's getting annoying, like how crazy it's getting. Like the whole thing that they went through with the titles. There's been 4 or 5 different titles, and the leaking of that. It's like, people just relax and wait till it comes out. Like it'll be here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that gets me. Oh, sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I mean, there was someone on social media recently who was so pissed off about, quote, getting trolled about the trailer and went on this big rant. And I'm like, dude, first of all, they don't owe you anything. Second of all, marketing and building hype is not trolling.
Right.
I mean, just because you were excited about it and let down because the rumor that was out there for it to be released at X time on X day didn't pan out.
Right.
Big deal. Get over it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they don't owe you anything. Just fucking move on.
It kills me. And I'm even to the point now where like the speculation of things gets me. Like, oh, the theory is this is good. I'm like, who cares? Stop theorizing what you think the movie's going to be about. Just wait. Like, don't get me wrong. There was a time when I would do that too, but I think I've gotten to the point now where I'm just like, oh, I don't want to hear your theory. I don't want to hear another fan theory. Just wait, and when it comes out, we'll all enjoy it.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been doing fan theories for years, and you can't really.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I remember when Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince came out, and how long did it take? Like over a year to find out who R.A.B. was.
Mm.
And all the fan theories behind it, and the fans were right, as to who it was. But there were tons and tons of message boards devoted to all the fan theories that Harry was a Horcrux and that all this other stuff. And
right.
I don't think there was the viciousness that there is, today.
Yeah. I can tell you the first time I started like fan theories and like that kind of stuff started getting on my nerves was with Game of Thrones, with who's Jon Snow's parents and so what's the whole thing about it,
R plus L equals J.
Like, it got to the point where it was making me like anxious and like I wasn't enjoying the ride of it. And then it got worse because then I would say that was a trolling. Game of Thrones itself started trolling people by, oh, we'll show you part of the scene, but we won't show you who's up in the tower, and then you'll have to wait. And then it's like, all right, enough. Just write the story when we get to that part, show us, and then let's move on.
Well, that's because that's how it happened in the book, though. You didn't know who was in the Tower of Joy.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think we may get a trailer. I know we're supposed to get a Captain Marvel trailer tonight during Monday Night Football.
Yes.
During the sports balls game.
Okay.
The head of marketing for Disney has said that there will be an Avengers 4 trailer Monday or Wednesday morning, rather. They haven't said when or where. The expectation is that it's going to be Good Morning America.
Of course.
Like they do most of their stuff. But yeah, that actually was made official earlier today.
Okay. Well, that's good. And I will say one more thing on the side of speculation. I did enjoy he was a Hugh Jackman last week, early in the week, posted a tweet.
Oh yeah.
About how he had some big news. Everybody's freaking out because he's going to play Wolverine again. Then it turns out he's just going on a musical tour.
Yeah.
This is the greatest thing ever. Ryan Reynolds is posting about it. We're going to get a Deadpool Wolverine crossover. It's going to be great. Everyone's going to love it. Oh, no, I'm just going to perform some songs. Just singing some songs. Like, that was genius.
Do you think we will find out the full title of Avengers 4 with the trailer?
I don't think so.
I think they will.
Think so?
I think they'll put the title out with the teaser.
I mean, I think at this point it's going to be Avengers Annihilation. I think that's been the most solid.
Totally.
With the picture that the Russos posted, and I think I'm pretty sure Annihilation is a comic book storyline somewhere, and it's kind of closely based on what this movie seems to be closely based on what it's going to be about. So I think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Let's see, what else did I have?
Hopefully it gets released before I have to teach my superheroes class so we can watch it in class on the big screen TV.
Nice.
So we have next Sunday starts the big upcoming DC crossover. I don't know if you guys are all caught up on everything.
I do not watch any Arrowverse.
You don't watch any of them? Okay.
No.
Are you caught up, April?
I'm not watching Supergirl, but yeah, I'm caught up. Didn't we talk last week and I said I caught up on The Flash?
You caught up on the Flash, yeah.
And I watch Arrow every week.
Yeah,
It's weird, though, the way that they're doing it. Like, they're doing The Flash on Sunday night, Arrow Monday, and then, whatchamacallit, Supergirl on Tuesday.
I wonder if they're doing that because of the storyline. Because in the storyline, they all get swapped around.
Oh, maybe. Oh, that would make sense.
That's the gag.
Is that your new catchphrase? You've said that twice tonight.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So they had their first like little stinger for the crossover last night after Supergirl.
Uh-huh.
And funny enough, it was kind of cool actually. So it was if you haven't seen it, this is a bit of a spoiler, but it was kind of like a battlefield. It reminded me of the beginning of Terminator 2, where you just see like bodies everywhere and stuff. There was like all these superhero bodies and costumes and helmets like all over the ground in the battlefield. And the only one left alive was the Flash, but it was John Wesley Shipp playing the Flash.
Okay.
But playing the Flash from the 90s television show version.
Okay.
So he's like playing that version of himself.
Okay.
So I guess it's gonna. What's that?
So is he playing like Jay? He's playing Jay Garrick. The version is he playing the version that he plays on the Flash?
He's playing the version he played in the old Flash television show.
Okay.
I think it was he was Barry Allen in that version in the 90s television show.
I'm gonna look right now.
So they're pulling him in as that version.
Okay.
Of the Flash. So they're pulling in that old 90s TV show universe as the Earth this time around.
Remember when we saw John Wesley Shipp?
Yeah, he was a sad-looking man.
That was before the Flash. Like before.
It was. He was on Teen Wolf, I think, at the time.
Yes, he was.
I've never watched and never will. Okay. And finally, as most of our listeners know, in April, I am a huge Spider-Man fan. I will watch and ingest anything Spider-Man. So I'm really looking forward to this Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, yeah.
How do you guys feel about the fact that they're saying it's the best Spider-Man anything ever made, and it got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Did it really?
Yeah.
They're saying it's legit the best version of Spider-Man that's ever been made.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Everything I've seen from it just looks to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to going to see it.
See, I had no desire to see it in the theater, and I think I'm going to have to if it's going to be as good as everyone's saying.
And apparently, they've already kind of said they're going to do a sequel, which will be an all-female Spider-Verse.
Nice.
So all Spider women.
Yeah, they've already picked their writers for it, and they're moving forward. It's awesome. It hasn't even released yet.
Yeah.
The first one.
So, I mean, I'm super excited to see it. I can't wait. It looks amazing.
He did play Barry Allen.
See that?
Just to circle back to last week's episode, I found another Pacific Northwest Stories, but it's Pacific Radio Alliance. That's what they're new. Have you listened to the last movie?
I have not, but I mentioned it in our last episode.
So I've got like 1.5 episodes left. It's Nick and MK.
It's a short series, right?
Yeah, it's 6 episodes, and it's basically there's this movie that is like The Ring. Like if you once you watch it, you die kind of thing. But we don't know if the movie actually exists or not. So they're on the hunt to find this movie.
Of course they are.
It's not bad, but it's got a Tannis tie into it because he talks about like the episode that I'm on right now, the woods that they're going to. He's been to because of Tannis.
Of course, gotcha. Okay.
Did you listen to the episode of Limetown today?
I did. It was strange.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was just me that found it weird.
No, but you know who the one character was, right?
Is it Glass Joe?
What?
What are you talking about?
No, the guy that got knocked out was Daniel. They just kept saying
Oh,
his last name.
that's Daniel's last name.
Yeah.
I was thinking that it was Glass Joe because of that little girl.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Daniel. I think that's his last name.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
So, on to the main event here. Because this is our last episode of 2018, I know we still
I'm on
have
like the season finale. This is so exciting.
You are on the season finale. This is our
Fucking
season one
awesome.
finale. So because this is the end of our 2018 season, and I know we have a little bit of time left and there's a lot of good stuff still to come, but we wanted to do kind of our own top 10 best of dealies for
Yes.
this episode. Movies, TV, books, whatever. Just your top 10, or in my case, I guess I didn't really put mine in order because it was difficult and I was short on time. So I just kind of put together 10 of my favorite things that I feel like that made an impact on me this year, and cheated because some of them were not in 2018, but I experienced them this year. So,
Okay.
so I believe we all put one of those together.
Yes.
Yes.
So
So I don't know.
Tim's
what's
our
that?
guest. He should go first with his first one.
It's
We'll round robin.
It's exactly what I was going to say.
Okay.
All right. So are we going to round robin this?
Yeah, and you can like talk about why for each one.
Okay. Similar to Jay, mine is in no particular order, just kind of the order it came out of my head. So the first item I have on here is, well, again, kind of going like what Jay said. It did not actually come out in 2018, but it's when I experienced it. And that is Fortnite.
Oh, God.
I fucking love Fortnite. That game is a riot. It's a lot of fun. I love playing it. I have wasted a lot of time playing it. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So Fortnite is on my list.
It makes me so angry. And I'm going to be completely honest. It's because I'm terrible at it. No matter how often I play it, I don't get any better.
So that's not
The only time I've made it like close to the end is because I hide. I hide like a little baby.
Does your kid play it, Jay?
He would love to, but he does not. I don't let him play it. Yeah, because he's still only 7.
Okay.
But he does all the dances.
Nice.
This kid, like he hypes and flosses his way through every store every weekend.
Stupid floss
Oh, yeah.
dance is so ridiculous.
It's obnoxious, but I'm sure we did something stupid like that when we were kids.
Did you see, by the way, speaking of the floss dance, did you see the video of the guy that plays Chidi from the Good Place teaching Ted Danson how to floss?
I did not, but I will.
Oh my god. It is so delightful. And then Kristen Bell comes in and she's like, no, it's like this. And then Janet comes, it's so cute. And
I have
Ted
to watch
Danson
it.
cannot get it for the life of him.
I don't blame him. It's obnoxiously difficult.
All right, Jay.
There was a wedding that I went to this summer, and there were probably, I don't know, 5 kids that were there, like, preteen. And like periodically throughout the, kind of the reception time, people are just talking and drinking and whatever. The kids are together, like doing Fortnite dances.
Of course.
It was, they actually weren't too bad, but like, it was so funny because like I automatically recognize it. And I won't say I'm great at it. I'm pretty decent at it. But what does piss me off is the fact that I'm pretty sure that every time I do get killed, it's by like some 11-year-old kid.
Yeah, always.
So, 11-year-old kid who probably killed me last time, fuck you.
And, and they trash talk like unbelievably. We'll have to start a random chatter league.
Oh, totally.
All right, so I can go next.
Yeah.
So in that same, I guess that same category, I had some video games. I had a tie for this one because
Okay.
there was 2 games I played this year that were unbelievable. One will be no surprise to anybody, given our previous conversation, which was the Amazing Spider-Man game for PS4. Phenomenal. It was such a good story. Aside from obviously it being my favorite superhero, it really was a great story. They brought in a lot of characters that have existed in the comic books that we haven't seen before in this juncture. It brought back a lot of the things we liked from the old versions of the games. It really all around, there was nothing bad about it. It was challenging. It had a really good story. It looked awesome. Really, really good.
I have not come across anyone who said it was a bad game.
Anyone
who played it said it was great. Can I go on a tangent here?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jay, what is your opinion on Morbius? Being a big Spider-Man guy, I'm curious with this movie being in the works.
He was never one of my favorite characters.
Okay.
And really, he was just a ripoff of Dracula. It's not like he was there was really not that much compelling about him. There's so many more compelling villains. I would even take like a God, I'm trying to think of a really bad one. Like a Scorpion or I don't know. There's so many better here like villains out there.
See, I'm a big Ghost Rider fan, so my exposure to Morbius was in the mid 90s in the Ghost Rider comics when he kind of crossed over into there. And I came to like him, but I totally agree with you that, he's kind of a ripoff. But, well, when it comes to a lot of comic characters, they're ripoffs or derivations of everything.
Whoa.
He's not the only one.
Yeah.
You guys froze there for a second, so I think I lost some of that audio.
I when it froze, I actually stopped talking. So
okay.
You may not have lost anything.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm in the same boat with you. I'm more excited that they're planning a Craven movie.
Yeah.
And I get it. Really, if you think about it, what's really compelling about him either? But I don't know. To me, he's more compelling of a character. But I was never a big fan of Morbius. I could take him or leave him, and I guess Jared Leto playing him, I could see it. Like as soon as I heard it, I was like, I get it.
Well, and I think that's what's going to be the draw, because anyone who is not at all familiar with the character in the comics is all like, who the fuck is that? Yeah. We have no idea who Morbius is. He's never been a mainstream character. So the casting of Jared Leto was sheer genius, because that's the way that they're going to get box office numbers.
I mean, I think eventually this Spider-Man-less Spider-Verse they're creating, they're going to have to put Spider-Man in it. And they keep saying, well, we can do it without him. It's not that you can. It's that should you? I mean, they've already said if they do a Kraven the Hunter movie, they have to put Spider-Man in it, because one of the most famous stories was him hunting Spider-Man and then defeating him and then going on after that. So I can't. Venom, I guess, did okay. I still haven't seen it.
It's a great movie.
It really is
such a good movie.
But how many movies are you going to make in this universe and go, no, there's no Spider-Man here?
Well, the thing is, I think if they do a bunch of origin movies and the build-up, it almost seems to me, and it's not my idea because people have written about this already, but what they're mapping out seems to be very similar to what basically to Infinity War, where this is all eventually going to map out to Maximum Carnage, which would be fantastic.
Oh,
so if they just kind of, just like they did with Thanos, they do little Carnage snippets as post-credit scenes. And they did this in Venom, where they introduced Cletus Cassidy, and just keep doing that and build until you have the Maximum Carnage movie. And that would just be like fucking mind-blowing. Oh my God, I wouldn't know what to do myself.
And you think it would just be Carnage against all the villains?
Carnage against everyone, because technically Morbius is like an anti-hero-ish.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and And Venom has always kind of walked that line between villain and anti-hero.
Right.
And like a lot of these characters can. So I think that this is where you're going to see, this unlikely team forming up simply because they have to face the largest power they've ever faced before in Carnage.
I think that could be cool. Okay.
Yeah. So I totally derailed this discussion. I'm sorry.
No,
okay.
it's fine. Venom was the best love story of 2018. And I'm not talking about, and I'm talking about him and the symbiote.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, totally.
So as I said, I do have a tie. So my other game was the God of War game. I was a big fan of those games way back in the day. So I was, as with all remakes and reboots and whatever you call them, I was a little nervous that they were going to ruin the series, but they did a really, really great job. It was a really compelling story. The addition of his son and what that means to the extended universe of that game, I think was kind of genius. It had a really good twist at the end, and it incorporated a whole new level of mythology that we hadn't seen yet in this series. It went away from the Greek mythology and started delving into the Norse mythology. And it did so in a very interesting and good way, whereas you wouldn't have gone, oh, it's great, just different mythology. Oh yeah, this is great, wonderful, more monsters. But they really did a great job with it.
Okay.
So that was my tie for this year.
Okay. So The Spy Who Dumped Me. Did either of you see that movie?
I did not.
I didn't. It was that good, huh?
So it looked really stupid, and I had gone to visit my godmother and my younger cousin over the summer, and my younger cousin was like, I kind of want to see it, and so we were like, we had nothing to do one night, so we decided to go see it. First of all, thought it was PG-13. That was a hard R.
That's right, we talked about that.
It was so funny, like, and it was so unexpectedly funny. It was a great action movie, but it was like Kate McKinnon is just, she's a genius. She's so funny, and that movie killed me. Because I didn't think it was going to be, I was just like, it looks,
Right.
And what a surprise. It was a sleeper. It really, really was. It was probably one of my favorite movies of the year.
All right, I haven't seen it, so I was on the fence about it, but
I was too. Jay, you'll really enjoy it.
Okay. All right,
Tim?
Oh, let's see what else I have here. I have okay, so this is a 2018 thing, and that is the Magnum PI TV series. Have you guys seen this?
Yes.
I have not.
I'm watching it.
All right, so I'll tell you, I am not big on reboots or remakes. I generally find them to be distasteful and unnecessary. And so going into this, I was skeptical. But the first episode totally locked it in for me. I love the series. I was so happy that they picked it up for a full season. It's fantastic. The characterizations are great. It plays homage to the original series while still being its own thing. I love that Higgins is a woman in this series, and they actually use her a lot. She's not just like this B character. And so long as they do not have a romantic relationship between Magnum and her, I think it's fantastic. If they do a romantic relationship, it will absolutely ruin it for me. They have to stay away from that.
They're building that sexual tension, and you can tell that they're doing it, and that's the one negative about that show. I also enjoy it, but every time they're on screen together and she gives just like a look, or he does his little voiceover, I'm like, they're gonna, not this season, but if it goes another season, I would not be surprised if they hook up.
I would be okay with like he convinces her to go out on a date with him, and it's just like a dinner date, and it simply doesn't work out, and they both decide, hey, yeah, we're not going to do this. Like, I would be cool with that, because then in the series they're addressing it and saying, okay, it's not going to happen. But if they actually do it, no, that'll ruin the whole thing for me. I will be so pissed.
I've been burned too many times by reboots on CBS. They burned me with Knight Rider.
I'm doing that fucking Knight Rider reboot.
I fucking loved that Knight Rider reboot. It was great.
I didn't even try it.
But
I tried. I watched one episode of the MacGyver reboot, and like the OG MacGyver, I was such a huge fan of. And this one was just a fucking waste of time.
My husband watches
absolutely
it.
Horrible.
See, I have a history with these terrible shows. Like, me and my father had our shows that we used to watch. I think to this day it was terrible, but I'm sure some people would argue Sequest was like our shit back in the day.
Sequest was cool.
Me and my father used to watch the shit out of that.
That was a cool series.
And then, do you remember the TV show Viper?
Yes.
With the Viper that transformed.
Yep.
It at one point it was only on like Saturday afternoons at like 1:30 p.m.
Oh yeah, yeah.
My father and I used to watch that too, like
right before Xena.
Right before what?
Xena.
Yeah. Right before Xena. And what was the other one with Kevin Sorbo?
Conan.
No, it wasn't Conan.
No.
It wasn't?
No.
Who did Kevin Sorbo play? It wasn't Hercules, was it?
Yes, Hercules, the legend continues.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Yep.
Good old Kevin Sorbo.
But seriously, the Magnum series is great. It does it for me.
Like,
and
Hawaii
great
Five-O
storylines.
Like,
really
Hawaii
good.
5-0 was good for a little while, and then
Yeah.
I lost interest.
Same.
But okay. Let's see what else I have on the list here. Got lots of stuff. Okay, so this is one thing, but it's kind of a two-parter. Because I discovered this thing this year. It came out this year. I discovered this thing, but I also discovered the man behind it as a whole this year, and have completely just fallen in love with this gentleman, and that's John Mulaney.
That's on my list too.
Just
Specifically,
the
Kid Gorgeous at
funniest
Madison Square
human
Garden.
being.
Or at Radio
Just
City
the
Music Hall.
What's that?
Specifically, Kid Gorgeous.
Specifically, but this one is the Comeback Kid, because that's the one that came out this year. Just the funniest human being on the planet, which also ties back to something else I talked about. He's in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Just a genius carnival barker of a human being. So funny. Like,
Comeback Kid came out last year. Kid Gorgeous was this year.
was it Kid Gorgeous?
Yeah.
Okay, when I looked at it. Anyway, I watched them both this year, so I'm not sure which one was this year's.
Okay.
Just fantastic. Like, it's so funny. I don't know what else to say about it. He's just so funny.
Yeah, that was on my list as well. Because I've been a fan of John Mulaney for a number of years. Probably about, I don't know, 5-ish. When I don't remember how I even discovered him.
Yeah.
But his Netflix special was one of those times where I was laughing out loud by myself watching it, especially the end bit where he does the whole thing on the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
And his comedy it's very hard. It's hard to explain him. Like, he looks like a child wearing a suit.
His joke.
Yeah, it is. But and you don't expect some of the things to come out of his mouth. So it's very, it's very unexpected. But I agree. He's amazing. He's definitely one of my favorites, and I really want to see him do stand up live. Like, go to one of his shows.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too. It's such a bummer when you discover something after everyone else has, and there's a couple things out there, and once you've consumed them, there's nothing else. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like at a loss because I want more, and I've gotten to actually recently I've started listening to Comedy Central Radio in the car because I have I'm working off my trial of Sirius XM, and every so often a bit by him will come on, but really the bits on there are only like a 2 minute bit. So it stops and it moves on to somebody else. I'm like, I don't want to hear you. Go back.
You need to, if you haven't already, you need to listen to his first two albums, which are the top part, and that's the one where he does the bit on the Salt and Pepper Diner, which is, it's gold. And then the other one is, give me a second. New in Town, or have you watched New in Town on Netflix?
I think I've watched New in Town.
Okay, so then you need to listen to the top part, which is his first album from 2009.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty great.
All right, you're up.
Well, you took mine with John Mulaney.
Sorry.
It's okay. But I will say that I have, in the same vein, and you don't really like him, but Bert Kreischer.
Ugh, I couldn't. I tried, but I just couldn't.
His most recent stand-up special, Secret Time, was... I don't know, is it because he's shirtless? Is that what bothers you?
It's because he's a big, sloppy, shirtless man telling comedy, and I just couldn't get past it. I was like, oh, put a shirt on. But apparently that's his thing.
It is his thing. And he is... So the movie Van Wilder is actually based on his time at college.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
And when he was 22, he accidentally got involved with the Russian mafia.
Wonderful.
And does a 10-minute bit, and it's called The Machine. Listen to that one, and it might change your mind a little bit about Bert Kreischer, because he's another one that's just he's a comedic genius.
We'll see. I make no promises.
Okay. All right, Tim.
All right, let's see. Next up on my list is Dragon Con, which has obviously been going on for a number of years, but this year was the first year that I got to attend. I've heard from folks for years that it is like the con of all cons, and they weren't wrong. It's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It is definitely by the fans for the fans. So it's a very different experience from a lot of the other major cons. If you've been to New York City Comic Con, Star Wars Celebration, I'm sure San Diego, which I've not been to. But it was a lot of fun. Shout out to my partner in crime from Dispatches from the Front, Tom, who was a panelist and or moderator on like 5 different panels out there. All Star Wars stuff. The dude's brilliant when it comes to Star Wars. He came in 3rd in their Star Wars trivia contest.
Wow.
He's been first place 3 times.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. It's huge. It's spread out between a bunch of hotels that are all clustered together in downtown Atlanta. It's a really good time. It is like a giant party, particularly in the evening, where all the hotel lobbies, like the bars open up, the bigger like ballroom size rooms in all the hotels turn into nightclubs. They have DJs in there and stuff.
Wow.
The lobbies of the hotels do the same thing. So it's just like multiple parties all over the place.
That's
it is
great.
One hell of a good time.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Big fan, definitely going again. 10 out of 10.
I'll have to check that. I'll have to put that on my list of things to do.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. I have another. Oh, I didn't do a movie yet, technically. So obviously, I have young ones. I have a son who is obsessed with certain cartoons. So we had to go and see Teen Titans Go to the Movies this year. Mm-hmm. And it was actually fantastic. It was so good. They did such a good job with it. it was one of those movies where they did, and there's a lot of movies where they do a terrible job at this, but they did a really good job of fitting the adult humor in, and it's skating right over the kids' heads, like. But at the same time, they had all these actors voicing superheroes that wouldn't normally do it.
Mm-hmm.
Nicolas Cage finally got to play Superman.
Yeah. That's the closest she's ever going to come to it.
Yeah, just fantastic. One of the best jokes in the movie was I forget who was playing him. Some rapper played Green Lantern, and he's like, "Wow, Green Lantern! Did you get your own movie?" He goes, "Yeah, actually, I did, but we don't talk about that." Just such great stuff. And for anybody that sees it, it ended with the end little stinger was. The music's getting louder, and Robin's trying to somehow fit a lesson into the movie, but the music and the credits are cutting him off. And right before it cuts him off, he's like, "Kids, ask your parents where babies come from." And I'm like, damn it. Because then, of course, my son's like, "Oh, Robin told me to ask you where babies come from." I was like, "Yeah, we're not going to talk about that." But they did a really good job. There has been cartoons where they tried to make a movie and they didn't have enough content, but this was done really, really well. It was really funny, and just it was a really, really good animated film.
Nice.
Okay. So I just discovered it this weekend, and I'm so glad that I did. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Me too.
Seriously?
I've heard it's great.
Yeah, I'm at episode 4 or something. Or 5.
Fantastic.
It's really good.
I watch Riverdale. It's not the greatest. It's not terrible, but it's not the greatest. But wow, Sabrina is so dark.
Really, super dark.
And it's one of those, when I told my cousin about it, or I mentioned it to her, and she's like, I couldn't get through the first episode. She's like, it scared me. And she's 26 years old. She's a big baby, though. She also listens to this podcast, so sorry, Brie. But it's very well done. Wait, Jay, oh, man. And
I'm pretty far along.
The casting is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
There are characters that I absolutely hate and they're written really well. I really, really hate her Aunt Zelda.
That's a weird relationship.
Awful bitch. But her cousin Ambrose is.
I knew you were going to say that.
Ambrose is amazing. He's so great. And even I was discussing it on Discord over the weekend, and I don't mind her friends, and I think that, Harvey is adorable, if not naive. But have you met the students at the school yet, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
So you've met Nick.
Mm-hmm.
I just love him too. But yeah, I mean, it's so great, and her Aunt Hilda is probably
fantastic.
One of the bright spots of the show.
Yeah,
she was in Wonder Woman.
Yes. Yep.
And she played. She was on the British version of The Office.
She was also in Shaun of the Dead way back.
Yes, she was.
Okay.
She played the friend of Sean's girlfriend.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, no, it's really good. And I don't really like horror, but it's just enough horror and mystery. If there was any more, I would probably be eh. And it's not, it's not that I'm scared of horror or anything like that. I don't, find it in the most part, jump scares and whatever else, but I just don't care for the most horror.
Mm-hmm.
In general, but this is just enough. If there was any more, I'd probably be
Oh, and Michelle Gomez. How
I know, yeah.
She's so fantastic. She plays she plays
Her title or her name? Because I know what her title is.
Yeah, but just wait, because who she actually is gets revealed at the end of the season.
Okay.
Like what
And I know they have
what her name is.
Oh, and I know they have a Christmas special coming now too, right?
Yes, and season 2 starts April 8th, I think.
Awesome.
But I can't believe that it took me this long to like watch it, and
same thing
so
here.
great.
And it's funny that we're both watching it and we just never communicated it.
Oh, I finished it. I finished it on Saturday.
Okay. I'll let you know when I finish.
Okay.
It's actually on my list. I have a fairly minor surgery coming up on Friday, but it's enough to put me out for a while. So there are a few things, mostly on Netflix, that I just plan on going through, and Sabrina's one of them.
I think you'll enjoy it, Tim.
Good.
Okay, next on your list.
All right, next for me, we kind of talked about it a little bit already, is Venom.
Okay.
I was just so pleasantly surprised by this. Well, I don't know. I guess I wasn't surprised. I had the anticipation. I wanted it to be good. It was good. And I'm just really happy with it. The effects were great. It was actually a little funnier than I expected it to be, even though the trailers were pretty funny. I thought, okay, they're just going to put the funny things in the trailers and that's it. But no, they really did well with it. I think that was them learning a little bit from both Deadpool as well as really what a lot of the Marvel movies have done, the MCU movies, instilling enough humor in them despite serious content and such. It was really cool. I mean, it wasn't without fault. There were some things in it that I think could or should have been fixed. But very rarely is any movie ever perfect, and I don't expect them to be. So I was thoroughly entertained. It was a lot of fun. I'm certainly hoping that we're going to see more of this. And yeah, I want to see this big expansion of Sony's Marvel universe.
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to get this one out of the way. Obviously, there was a lot of Marvel movies that came out this year. I had a tough time narrowing down my favorite, so I narrowed it down to 2. It was very difficult, one of which I think both of you will agree with. One, I know one of you won't, but I never got the backstory as to why.
Fuck off, Jay.
Okay.
I'm being genuine. I don't know what the issue is, but we'll talk about it. I'm interested, and I'll tell you why I enjoy.
I already know where you're going.
So one was obviously Infinity War. Like I was going back and forth between Black Panther and Infinity War, and as much as I loved Black Panther, I thought it was a fantastic movie. I finally getting the culmination of everything that's led up to this was satisfying. It was a good movie. It didn't disappoint. And then again, I'm totally not setting you up here or anything. I really legitimately did enjoy Ant-Man and the Wasp. One of the reasons is because my wife does not watch most of these movies, but she did enjoy the first Ant-Man, and we got to kind of see these ones together. So she did enjoy the second one. And like I said, I enjoyed both of them. I thought it was really good. I know you're not a fan, and I'm not sure why. If there's like an overarching story behind it, or if it's just you don't care for them.
I'm very happy that you enjoyed it and your wife enjoyed it, and anyone else out there who likes it. I certainly don't begrudge them that, and I'm not going to say that it's a bad movie or a bad character or anything. Ant-Man just doesn't do anything for me, and I think the movies are a little too almost slapsticky.
Yeah, no, I get
it. Yeah, it's just there's a certain tone to the movies that I don't particularly like. So that's all. That's all. It's just a personal preference. I'm not going to bash it.
Yeah,
it's cool.
But I mean, as a whole, like I said, I enjoyed this one. I did enjoy the comedy aspect of it, but I did enjoy more than that. I mean, I think it served more of a purpose in the extended universe than the first one did. I think the whole introduction of this not multiverse, microverse, or what, I forget what they called it. I apologize. But this other universe It's killing me because I can't think of what
Shit.
they call it.
I know, and it's in my head, and it left.
But I think it's going to be important going forward. I thought the way they did it was very good. I thought the whole Michelle Pfeiffer thing was going to be like I wasn't going to like it. I thought it was going to be a poor casting. I was actually pleasantly surprised. I mean, she wasn't in the movie that long, but I was actually pleasantly surprised. What's that?
The Quantum Realm.
The Quantum Realm.
Yes.
I was pleasantly surprised by her portrayal of Janet, and I mean, I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing more of her. So, of all the Marvel movies, those were my two favorite this year.
You know, I thought Wasp was very well done.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the Ghost, although I think they could have done more with her.
Yeah. I thought her story was a little weak.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen that built up, made a little bit more meaningful, but I get it.
All right.
So the next one is a movie that I watched on Netflix. To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Have not seen it.
You won't enjoy it.
Okay.
It's very reminiscent of like the 80s John Hughes movies. It's about a teenage girl who has several serious crushes on some boys from like growing up or whatever. And she writes them all letters that she hides in her room, never to send them. And her little sister finds them and sends them out because she feels bad that her sister's lonely and blah, blah, blah. And one of the boys that gets the letter, they forge a pact, let's say, because he's got an ex-girlfriend who's absolutely awful. And one of the letters that was sent out was to her sister's ex-boyfriend. And so they pretend to be in a relationship. And the boy that plays the fake boyfriend is just... He's so delightful. It's a very like sweet role, and it's such a cute movie. And I know that Lizzie will agree with me about this movie because she has also posted about it. It's really a cute movie, and I was pleasantly surprised by it, and probably one of my favorite rom-coms. Not that I watch a bunch, but there's another one on my list that's the other favorite. So
okay, I definitely won't put that on my list.
Sharon might like it.
She very well might. I'll let her know.
Okay, Tim?
All right. So I guess I'll do the double header here of MCU movies. Both Infinity War and Black Panther. They both hit my list. I love them both. I think the characterization for Black Panther was just like so freaking immersive.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they did for that movie, every aspect of it, what they wrote and the visuals and the sound and everything like just came together, and it was mind-blowingly awesome. My wife disagreed. She didn't like the movie, but I thought it was awesome. And then obviously Infinity War was like the huge culmination of everything. And I love that it's actually a two-parter, even though Kevin Feige says it's not a two-parter. It really is. I mean,
okay, it is Kevin.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You can't just like end it at that and say, okay, later we're gonna go home. Bye bye.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's more to that story, obviously. So, I mean, we could gush about Infinity War and Black Panther for a long time. I don't think I need to.
And that's exactly why I didn't put those movies on my list, because I knew that at least one of the two of you would cover the MCU.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. So, like I said, I have two things on my list that did not come out in 2018, but I discovered them in 2018. So I will do one of those, and they are both books. So, as I said earlier in my list, I listed God of War as one really good video game. So playing through that, I I really got into the mythology, and I really got into the Greek mythology when I was playing the old games. But being older now and trying to read more, I'm not always successful about it, but I really, by the time I finished that game, I was like, God, I want more. And I was like, wait a second, wasn't there a Norse mythology book that came out a couple of years ago? Sure enough, obviously, Neil Gaiman wrote his version of the Norse mythology book. So I read that this year, and like I mean, it was a short book anyway, but like I blew through it. I think I blew through it in like 3 days, which is rare for me, even with a shorter book. Just a fantastic interpretation of those stories, some of which I didn't even know. I thought I knew them, but I guess I didn't really, know the details of them. Really interesting. And it was funny because, in my mind, I'm reading, about Thor and Loki. And of course, I'm comparing them to the Thor and Loki I know from the Marvel Universe, which they are not at all. So there was there was a lot of parallels I could draw to different things in different medium. But overall, it was a fantastic book. Again, another thing where like I finished it and I was like, oh God, I want more. Is Neil Gaiman writing a second one of these?
Nice.
And actually, funny enough, I'm almost ashamed to say this. That's the first thing I've ever read written by Neil Gaiman, and I'm hooked. I'm like, I got to read more. This guy's a great writer.
See,
obviously.
I don't particularly like his writing style, but Norse mythology I enjoy. Like I enjoyed his I was looking at my bookshelf to see where my copy is of it because I after you recommended it, I bought it and started reading it. But I've been trying to read American Gods for like 6 years. I'm not even joking. I bought it when I went to California 6 years ago to read, and I still have not finished it.
Is it only one book, or is it a series of books?
As far as I know, it's only one book.
Okay.
So I have another one that he did with Terry Pratchett, Good Omens, which I may try to read and see if that one. Okay, there we go. Oh, Tim's still frozen. Okay, there we go. And see if that might make me like him a little bit more. But American Gods is it is a slog.
Yeah.
And people love love that book.
Good show too. I was gonna put that on my list, but it came out in 2017. So.
Oh, okay. So my next one is this is my twofer. It's the book and the movie. The book did not come out this year. I discovered it this year. Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda.
Was the name of the book?
Is the name of the book.
Huh.
And the movie is Love, Simon.
Oh, okay.
The book is just it's really good. It shows the typical high school experience. With the twist of the kid being closeted and then getting outed and having to deal with that. And the movie's really good. I really enjoyed the movie. The only thing that bothered me is that they really made the movie a bit more dramatic than the book.
Of course.
But the book would have translated just as well. And they cut characters out. Like he has an older sister in the book that they completely cut out. And they shorten his relationship in the movie and make him finding out who the guy he's been writing to the end of the movie, whereas there's probably a good chapter left showing the progression of their relationship after they reveal themselves to each other.
You've just summarized every book to movie adaptation ever made.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know.
Let's put out a bunch of characters that we really can't translate well to the screen.
Or don't want to.
But the other thing, too, is that they make, he's got a younger sister in the book as well, and they make her much younger in the movie.
Of course they do. Because they probably found an actress they wanted to use.
Yeah, so, I mean, those are, my only gripes is that they changed... They didn't change the story that drastically, but those other characters that they cut out actually make the book more relatable.
Okay.
Okay, Tim, you're up.
Cool. I'm going to throw a book in, actually. So it's a book I just like happen to have it here on my desk, called Partners in Commands. There's someone, for the life of me, I actually don't remember who, in Discord who recommended it to me. It's basically kind of a biography of George Marshall and Dwight Eisenhower before, during, and after World War II. And I'm a big World War II buff, particularly European theater stuff. And it's a freaking fantastic book. It's just because of life, it's taken me a while to get through it. I'm just shy of halfway through it right now. And it's just amazing. It's incredible. So really, really insightful. It follows kind of their relationship and interactions throughout like these very notable activities of the war and stuff. It's awesome. So any World War II buffs out there, they haven't been listening. Partners in Command by Mark Perry. Awesome book.
Excellent.
And it was written a while ago, but this year was my exposure to it.
Gotcha. On a side note, since you're a World War II buff, have you watched Man in the High Castle on Amazon Prime?
Yes, but only the first 2 seasons. We got to get back into it.
What do you think about it as a whole? What's your quick take on it?
Well, alternate history stuff can like pretty much go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a cool, what if head scratcher kind of thing. And of course they kind of take it to a fantastical level.
Yeah, of course.
It's all right. It's fun. The first season was kind of a slow build, but it's been okay.
I've started season 3 and it's a bit weird. I've had a hard time getting into it, but
yeah.
Anyway. Okay. Let's see what else I got here. So I will do my other book real quick, which is Mortal Engines. Obviously it did not come out this year. I don't know when it came out off the top of my head. I think it's relatively older.
I don't know.
Not sure.
There's so many Mortal books.
Yeah. So I ended up, I cheated it. I did the Audible. But again, I blew through it. Anytime I could get my headset in, on the way to work, on the way home, at lunchtime at work, I was getting as much of it in as I could. And I thought it was fantastic. It was an excellent story. The only thing that bugged me about it, and this isn't a gripe on the book so much, was that I got the idea of reading it after seeing the trailer for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Having seen the trailer for the movie, and I think, April, you and I have talked about this before, yes. The characters' faces were now in my brain, so I read the book and I couldn't unsee the characters, and that kind of bugged me. Not enough to not read the book. I still read it and still enjoyed it, but it almost bugs me because it's like I want to create what I think they look like or sound like in my own brain. And it was like, I mean, as far as sounding like I was doing an Audible, so it was, one guy doing male, female, all of the characters, so it's always weird. But
yeah.
So that bugged me a little bit. But I thought it was a fantastic story. I can't wait to see the movie. I think Peter Jackson has rarely made a bad movie. Not that he's directing it, but he's involved in it. So I think it's going to be good. I hope it's going to be good. But I loved the first book. Trying to get through the second book, it's a little bit of a drag. I feel like they tried to continue a story that they concluded really well, but then was like, oh wait, but there's more, So that's, and that's always tough, but excellent book. I really enjoyed it.
2001.
Okay.
And I don't have that problem that you do because I can't see anything when I read.
Well, that's right. You have book face blindness.
I do. I cannot imagine. I have a very hard time imagining faces when I'm reading. It's
really
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, no, see, I totally get immersed into it, and if there's some type of visual representation, whether it was a movie or whatever, that's where my head goes.
That's it.
Totally.
Yeah, I was stuck.
Yeah, no, I for some reason my brain doesn't work when it comes to thinking of faces when I'm reading. Even if like there's, if, like Harry Potter, like I don't see anybody. I don't see Daniel Radcliffe. I don't see anybody. It's weird. All right. Castle Rock.
Damn it.
Was that on your list? Or did you
Yes,
forget
it
about
was.
it?
Yes, it was, but I'll let you take it.
It was just so weird and had enough mystery. And it was fucking weird, man. Like, that's the only thing I can say about it. Like, it was a really good show. It had enough of like the other stories tying in, to keep the Stephen King fans' kind of interests peaked. It was I don't know, I can't. We've talked about it, a lot on the show because we were both watching it. But it's just, I'm looking forward to season 2, especially since they're going to make it an anthology series like American Horror Story.
And that's what I think made it better for me. The fact that like once season 1 was done, that was it. That was all you were getting of that story. And I was like, you know what? I like that. That made it even better. Like, I don't have to wonder, where are these characters? What happened to them? Like, nope, that's it. Like, they're done.
Yeah. Yeah, at the same time, I would like to know what happened to Henry Deaver on both sides.
I think they sufficiently explained it, though.
I still have some questions, but I do like that they're, who was really the bad guy? That's the whole question.
That's the whole point.
So I'm interested to see where they go with season 2, if they follow what's her face, or if so
that's the plan, I believe.
Or if they, use the same actors again and just do a whole new story.
That could be interesting.
Just like, that's what American Horror Story does. They use the same actors, which was very confusing this season because they did like a kind of crossed over between 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. And so some of the characters were playing one part, and then in the next scene they were the same actors playing somebody else.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was it got a little weird with American Horror Story this
I would
season.
love to see next season what's his name? Was it, which Sarsgaard is it?
Bill.
Is it Bill Sarsgaard?
It's Bill.
I would love to see him play like a straight-keeled, even-keeled character, like not creepy whatsoever. Like, yeah. I think that would be really cool. And then to have maybe the guy who played the other Henry play like something weird and out there. Like, I think there's a lot of potential to switch it up. Mm-hmm. I think you're right. And it's worked well for American Horror Story. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Tim.
All right. My next one is Fantasy Movie League. So Fantasy Movie League has, I guess, been around for a few years. They started in 2015. I never heard of them until very early this year. And I've been playing pretty religiously every week. And it is just an absolute riot. So for anyone who hasn't done it, if you're not familiar with it, it's structured very similarly to like a fantasy sports league. So if you're going to do fantasy football or something like that, and it's all centered on movies. And so, just like a sports thing, there's this crazy rabbit hole that you can jump down when you're looking at trying to forecast what these movies are going to make in the domestic box office, how many theaters they're going to be in, how many people attend the showing. So you're looking at your per theater average. Wow. And you look crazy at like comparable movies. So like, hey, this movie stars Sylvester Stallone. Well, what did his last movie make? And it's not just what did his last movie make. It's, is there a movie that got released this time of year that can be comparable? So, well, I guess, talking about Creed 2. Well, pretty much every Rocky movie has been released around Thanksgiving. So, there's like this real easy analog. But if you had some other movie with some other actor, you can look at those comps and see what it is, and maybe they're different genres. So maybe it's a little bit different. Like there's so much science that gets into it, and it's still very enjoyable to do without diving all the way in. I mean, I'm kind of like chest deep or so in the rabbit hole, and I still do pretty well. Like this week, I think for the second time ever, I had a perfect Cineplex. So basically what you're doing is for your week, you're picking 8 movies that are going to perform collectively the best in the box office. And you're given 1,000 credits, and each movie costs a certain amount of money. And so it's a riot. The Random Chatter Network, we have a private league in Fantasy Movie League. So if anyone wants to join, just hit us up, let us know. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, there's also a great podcast for it as well. It's the FML podcast, or FML My Life, actually, is what they're called. And they're great. I've been listening to them for a number of months. We had one of their hosts on Random Chatter. I interact with them all the time on social media, and they actually just recently got blessed, if you will, to be the official podcast of Fantasy Movie League.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so they're directly affiliated now, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
We got to figure that kind of stuff out.
Yeah, no kidding.
We got to be the official podcast of people who have no ideas or something. Anyway, I was going to ask. So, is there any actual winning of money involved, like there would be with DraftKings or anything like that?
Yeah, in the main FML league, every single week, the winner, like, up for grabs is they do like a lot of signed movie posters signed by actors, and sometimes it's, in fact, a lot of times it's not like the headline movie of the week. It's a movie. It could have been a movie that came out 5 weeks ago, but it's usually big movies, big actors, and so yeah, it's a lot of movie posters and other movie memorabilia and that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, very cool. All right.
Yeah. And it was actually like founded by someone who used to work for ESPN, who actually did fantasy sports stuff. So it was actually structured based on that.
Gotcha.
And the company that owns it now is the same company that owns Nuvi.
Okay.
Really annoying pre-movie show people in the
I was
theater.
going to say, that's how I know about Fantasy Movie League, because I see the commercial 12 times before the movie.
Well, exactly. And it's free advertising because they're all owned by the same people.
Gotcha. I'll have to give it a try.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Let's see, what else do I have here? Okay, so this is something that it did not start in 2018. However, part of it, this season of it took place in 2018, and I'll just get into it. So this season of the most current season of Black Mirror, I've enjoyed. I don't know if both of you are Black Mirror fans.
Have not seen it.
Oh my God. So Black Mirror is fantastic. It is, every story is kind of a take on how technology goes awry in our society, or how it can potentially affect society negatively. A lot of it is very fictional, very sci-fi. But this season was really, 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 really good. They had, I'm sure you saw, they had like almost like a Star Trek kind of based episode, which I thought was going to be really strange, but the way they did it was really, 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 really good. There was an episode, but two of my favorite episodes this season, one revolving around it revolved around a couple who had accidentally, the episode starts that they accidentally hit somebody with their car. And then years later it shows how,
I know what you did last summer.
Sort of, but like much better, actually good. It shows how later down the road they finally get caught, not without a lot of crazy shit happening. They get caught by like an insurance adjuster, basically, sort of. But the way they do insurance claims is like they have this machine that can read your mind, kind of sort of thing. It's much more interesting than I'm explaining it.
Oh, okay.
So that was really cool. And then the other one that I really, really liked, which I thought it probably wouldn't have had the same impact on me if I didn't have kids. The name of it was called Archangel, I think, or Guardian Angel or something along those lines. And it was basically, there was a company that had this technology that could inject this chip into your child. And then using like an iPad, you can control what they see, what they hear. Like, so basically you could censor them so that they couldn't like perceive violence. So if there was like violence in front of them taking place, it was all blurred. Like their vision was
like the ultimate helicopter parent app.
Yeah. And like you see how this mother has a scare when her child's young and almost loses her child and is so desperate and so scared that something will happen that she takes this. But it gets, as her child gets older, it gets out of hand, and it really takes a couple really cool turns. Like I said, I highly recommend Black Mirror as a whole. It's really every episode, you get to the end of the episode and you're just like, what the fuck? Like every episode, your brain is like ready to pop out of your head. Like if you haven't watched it and you think you'd be into that kind of thing, definitely check it out. You'll be hooked.
Don't watch the very first episode of season 1. That is the reason why
It's fun. Watch the very first episode of season 1.
Do not. That's the only reason why I have not tried to go back and watch it, was because of that first episode.
Season 1, episode 1 will get you hooked.
No, it will not.
If you don't watch it, April,
they're self-contained. It's like Twilight Zone.
You probably missed something pretty big.
No, they're all self-contained episodes.
I think
okay.
I think Tim will like it. It's an anthology. Every episode is a different story with different actors that has nothing to do with the previous episode.
Oh, interesting.
So every episode is its own little self-contained story.
All right.
And it all has to do with technology. It all has to do with how it affects our lives. It's really like every episode, I'm telling you, every episode you leave watching it going, oh my, holy crap.
But it's kind of like speculative, like
almost like a Twilight Zone, or really.
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah, like a Twilight Zone tech.
Mm-hmm. It's a more twisted and more, I wouldn't say messed up, because they're not all. It's not that they're all really messed up, but it's more of a twisted Twilight Zone.
Cool, nice.
So if you like that, you will love it.
That first episode, though,
it's fantastic.
It's not with the Prime Minister and the pig.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
For the folks at home, because of course you can't see this, Jay is like smiling and excited about this, and like. You can physically see he's like, oh, fuck yeah, you got to see this. And April is just sitting there shaking her head. Nope, not going to fucking watch it.
That is because of that first episode. That's why.
It's a bit disturbing.
It's
I'll give it to
disgusting and horrifying.
It's one of those things where you're horrified, but you're like, okay, that was entertaining. In a matter of speaking, I suppose. I don't want to make it anyway. You'll see. If you watch it, you'll see.
All right. So my next one is Netflix has just started like dumping episodes of full seasons of the Great British Baking Show. Mm-hmm. So like the current ones that are on with the new hosts, which we haven't even gotten on PBS yet. Old seasons that have never aired in the US. They just dropped the other day like a holiday one with previous contestants. For somebody who loves the Great British Baking Show as much as I do, this is 2018 has been a very good year for fans of the show.
For some reason at the beginning, when you paused, I expected you to go, yeah, this has nothing to do with that.
Oh, no.
We were like, they're dumping this show, and then, but my thing has nothing to do with that. I just wanted to say that.
No, that's it on that one.
All right.
Tim?
All right. I'm going to. Here's an interesting perspective, I guess. Deadpool 2. Love Deadpool 2. Thought it was a great movie. Not as good as the first one, but sequels rarely are as good. But specifically, what I want to comment on with this is the marketing for Deadpool 2.
Oh, yeah.
Pure fucking genius. I mean, whoever is like strategizing the marketing for Deadpool as a whole, because really the marketing transcended this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of picked up a little bit recently because they're doing the re-release of Deadpool 2 as a PG-13 holiday movie later this month, which I cannot wait to go see. And I will. I know it's the same movie, but there's going to be 15 more minutes of scenes in it, and I'm a sucker. So, but like the stuff that they have done is unlike any marketing we've ever seen for anything else. And they're like everywhere. They have put themselves, totally. They have put themselves like all throughout society. Other companies should be like taking note and learning from this. It's the stuff first of all, they use social media the right way, which a lot of companies just simply have yet to figure out. Ryan Reynolds has essentially assumed the persona of Deadpool.
He really has.
Like in all walks of life. You had Josh Brolin, who played a lot into this also on social media. And then you had other things. So like earlier this year, the season finale of The Walking Dead had 2 commercial shorts in it called The Walking Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For no particular fucking reason whatsoever.
Yep.
Like none of it said, hey, go watch this movie that we have. No, they were just there. They were just there because they can, and they know that they're getting money back on their investment. So like 2 movies to me does not make a franchise, but when they have built something up this big simply through their marketing, Deadpool is a fucking franchise.
It's incredible. And I mean,
it's amazing.
It plays so much into that breaking the fourth wall and him showing up everywhere kind of thing. Like they took that and it was literally the epitome of that. 2 things I was like in shock and awe about. One was all the DVD covers for all the movies owned by that movie company.
Oh my God.
Where they redid
put Deadpool into all of them. Holy shit.
To the point where I walked into Walmart one day and saw like they had done the facing of the rack where every single movie was replaced with the special edition cover. I'm it like happened overnight. Like it was such a precise, planned and executed thing.
Pure genius.
I couldn't get over it. I was like, this is insane.
There needs to be college classes solely about how they have marketed Deadpool.
Insane.
Like it's that intricate and that involved. There's that much to talk about.
No, I agree with you.
It's totally new marketing. Totally new.
I agree with you. And there's more we could go on, but you're absolutely right. It was genius. They did a great job.
Okay.
All right, let's see. What do I got left here? I got 2 left. Okay. Again, this is my last one that didn't particularly start this year, but I got into it this year, and we kind of mentioned it earlier. But the TV show The Good Place. Oh my God!
It's the greatest fucking show on TV.
Just the greatest show. Like I can't get over how good it is. Me and my wife got into it. I forget when we got into it.
This summer.
I think it was this summer, and we just binged all of it. And it was fantastic. It's such a good show.
Tim, do you guys watch it?
What's that?
Tim, do you guys watch it?
No, we have not.
So good. I think The writing on it is genius. They did such a good job with something that could have died very quickly. They've rolled with the storyline, able to morph it into different directions, and really upkeep the surprise factor. Everything about it's just, and the cast is fantastic. Considering it's a cast of almost all like nobodies, not nobodies, but other than Ted Danson and Kristen Bell,
Yeah.
like just a fantastic cast of excellent comedians. There's nothing bad about it. It's a wonderful show.
And the guy that plays Jason he's the best.
He's really one of the best actors on that show. Really is. So that's my last one that was 2018 but not 2018.
Okay. So I have another Netflix original. Nailed It. Have either of you seen it?
No.
Okay, so it's a baking competition. But here's the thing. They give these bakers different things to make that were found on Pinterest and ask the bakers to replicate them in definitely not enough time. And the nightmare hellscapes that some of these people create, instead of what they're supposed to look like here's this beautiful unicorn that you're gonna make a unicorn cake, and like the ones that they have look like it like is suffering from like Bell's palsy. I mean, these the replicas that they make are just, they're awful. And it's hysterical because the host is a comedian, Nicole Byer. And there's also like a professional pastry chef, a pretty famous one. I just can't think of his name right now. And then they bring like another guest judge on every episode, and it's like a $10,000 prize for the winner. But like there's like the first round where they give a prize for the winner of that round, and then the winner of the whole game or the whole show wins 10 grand. And having watched it, like binging it, every other episode, the middle prize is something really good, like a stand mixer, and every other one is kind of shitty, or not nearly as good as the nice stand mixer.
All right.
But it's really funny. It's meant to make fun of like baking shows, but I don't think the contestants realize that they're being made fun of. It's pretty funny. All right, Tim.
All right. I'm going to have to go with, and it's amazing that it actually released this year because it seems like it was forever ago, A Quiet Place.
Okay.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh, April. Yeah, great movie. Just incredibly well done. I'm not really big into kind of what has become the modern horror genre. They're very big on jump scares and slasher, bloody stuff and all that kind of shit. I love psychological thrillers though, and this movie just knocks it out of the park. It was worth all the hype. Never saw it in the theater. Ended up seeing it once it came out on DVD. And both my wife and I were blown away by it. It's just like perfectly written. The story beats are just great. It's really great. So I know a lot of people have gushed about this movie, so I probably don't need to go on that long about it, but it's awesome.
I haven't seen it either. I feel bad.
Oh, you totally need to.
I'll let you take the heat for that. Yeah, it's on my list. It's definitely on my list, but
yeah.
All right. And my final one. Again, this is another one. It didn't start in 2018. However, this season of it took place in 2018. I know I was looking forward to it, but I didn't know how good it was going to be, and that is Westworld Season 2. I was literally blown away by how good it really was. I thought it was just going to be a season of carnage, a season of just this uprising, and they still fit the story, twists and turns, and interesting like exposition and past and future, and like amazing. It really was amazing. It was a lot more content to it than I thought there was going to be. I was pleasantly surprised and enthralled, and it was just fantastic. One of my, I would say, if I did order these, this would be very high on my list. One of my favorite television seasons this year, definitely.
Okay. Tim, do you have a 10th one? Because mine is going to take a little bit of explanation. So,
the only other thing I had was Solo, a Star Wars story. And a lot of folks, if you hear me on any of our other podcasts, you know I'm a big Star Wars fan. And I like Solo. I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was a cool look at the things about Han Solo that were mentioned or alluded to in the original trilogy films that we wanted to know more about. How did he meet Chewie? How did he meet Lando? How did he get the Millennium Falcon? What was this Kessel Run thing about? All that kind of stuff. And they really wrapped it up very well together in a, 2.5 hour or so movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. Yeah, some people found issue with it. It was just good. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Mud Troopers are awesome. I'm probably going to be building a Mud Trooper cosplay. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
I'm with you. I enjoyed it as well. I'm not one of the haters.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. I thought it was as good as it could have been for what it was.
Yep.
okay. So my 9th one is just, you know, how much I like Check Please. Well, the author released a book with the first 2 seasons of the comic and a lot of like ancillary stuff, like all of the Twitter account that one of the characters maintains, like all the tweets are in the book, which is really cool. So that's the first one. So volume 1 of Check Please. And then the other one is a phrase that originated this year, which I think is freaking hysterical. And the backstory behind it is what makes it. And so the phrase is big dick energy.
I have not heard this.
Okay.
What? How is it December and I have not heard this?
Okay. So this started like late June of this year. And it's Ariana Grande.
Oh, that's why.
She made mention that her fiance at the time, she's no longer engaged to, Pete Davidson, has a 10-inch penis. And so in the following days, his dick length was discussed at great length. So big dick energy when it comes to Pete Davidson. Somebody tweeted, he's 6'3" with dark circles, exudes big dick energy, looks evil, apparently is an angel, and loves his girl publicly. The only thing wrong with him is that he's a Scorpio, but anyways, I'd marry him within a month too. So big dick energy is a quiet confidence and ease with oneself that comes from knowing you have an enormous penis and you know what to do with it. It's not cockiness, it's not a power trip, it's the opposite. A healthy, satisfied, low-key way you feel yourself. Some may call this...
You answered my question sufficiently, by the way.
Some may call this well-adjusted, but we know the truth. But you don't actually have to have a penis to have big dick energy. So
take your word for it.
So this article goes through like some mainstream people and whether or not they have it. So like Anthony Bourdain, he would have been somebody with big dick energy, or B.D.E.
All right.
So they asked, so which of the Hollywood Chris's has it? So Chris Pratt, no. Chris Pine, yes, but it's fragile. Hemsworth, nah. And Evans, abso-friggin-lutely. Kate Blanchett, big dick energy. Idris Elba, the biggest dick energy. And it like goes through this entire list. Rihanna, overflowing with big dick energy. So that phrase is just, it kills me. And I cannot believe that you have not heard that, Jay. But I'm glad I could have brought it to you.
Have not.
Hey, yo, this is Joe from Philly. I just want to talk about some big dick energy that I got going on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh. Hilarious. Yeah, that's something.
So that would be like my number one if I was going to rank 2018 big dick energy.
All right. Fair enough.
That's fantastic.
All right, so I think that's all of our lists.
Yes.
That being said, I guess, do you have a fanfic pick for this week?
You know I do. So this one's by Rabbit Runner, and it's, you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here? And it is a check please fic because somebody actually put up new fic because we actually got an update on the freaking comic. So,
ooh,
yes.
Fancy. All right. Well, I think that was pretty good. Let's see, as we wind up here, Tim, where can people find you if they want to listen to more of you?
That's it. www.bigdickenergy.com. No, I am. Let's see. I'm a co-host on Random Chatter. I'm a co-host on Echo Base, which is our Star Wars show, or one of our Star Wars shows. I'm a co-host and producer on Dispatches from the Front, which started off as our Band of Brothers review podcast. And once we finished that, we said, hey, we like this. We're going to keep talking about war movies. So that's me and Tom, who is he is an Army major, recently promoted.
Oh, very cool.
So that kind of lends some legitimacy to us covering more movies.
Very nice.
He's just as big of a geek as I am. So we have some fun doing that. And I'm also a co-host and producer on Guardians of the MCU, which is why I love talking about all sorts of Marvel stuff.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Twitter, @Qui-Gon Tim. That's Tim with 2 M's. You can find me on Discord. And yeah, that's it.
All right. And as always, you can find us at A&J Have No Ideas on Twitter. Facebook, April and J Have No Ideas. Where else are we? April and J Have No Ideas at gmail.com. We really need to shorten that email address. Not that we get any emails, but...
Yeah, exactly.
Our podcast is part of the Random Chatter network of podcasts. So, yeah, do go check out some of the other ones. Absolutely. We are on iTunes or all other places that you find your fine podcasts. We also have a voicemail, and I don't have my phone here to look up the number, so you're going to have to look it up. You can leave messages for us. We'll come back to that. And, if you enjoy our podcast, we will, like I said, we will be sending out a survey to kind of get some ideas to where we will be going in the future, and would love some input from anybody that listens.
Our April and Jay phone number, by the way, 475-212-5457.
Yes, so that's our phone number. Please call and leave us a voicemail. We will definitely listen to it during recording.
I should do that sometime.
You should. I noticed you have never left a message.
Yeah, no, never.
So yes, we'll definitely be sending out that survey and trying to get some feedback. And again, if you enjoy our podcast, consider going to whichever place you download us and maybe giving us a rating or a review. Helps us get to more people and get more ideas, I guess, collectively somehow. Somehow that works.
Well, thank you so much, Tim, for coming on our season finale.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys for having me. This was a lot of fun.
I feel like we got to have Tim on the season premiere of season 2 as well.
Yes.
Bookended.
I'm totally up for it.
Okay. Well, on that note, I've been April.
I've been Jay.
And that was actually an idea for once.
It was. when you have a guest, you feel pressure to actually come up with something.